In Wisconsin, there is a new poll which finds that Kamala Harris has a 9-point lead over Donald Trump. Think back to 2020 and how close Wisconsin was, fraction of a point, and consider what it would mean nationally if somehow Kamala Harris were to win. Forget about 9, forget about 5. If Kamala Harris even were to win Wisconsin by 3 or 4, what it would signal about the whole election. Well, in this new poll, conducted by the Independent Center, Kamala Harris is at 51 and Trump is at 42. 51 to 42, a 9-point lead in Wisconsin in this particular poll for Kamala Harris. Now, I think it's important to look at an average of polls. That's only one poll. If you look at an average of the polls that Real Clear Politics includes in its polling, on average, Kamala Harris is leading by 1.2 in Wisconsin. She is leading by 6 in the recent New York Times Siena poll. So that's sort of a second data point in Wisconsin that shows the lead is really relatively solid. I'm also heartened to see that very few people are messing with the third party candidates. Cornel West with 0.3% in Wisconsin, Jill Stein with 0.8%, and Bobby Kennedy Jr. now down to 5. That's still, and that's 6.1 total. That's still enough to swing the state, depending on what the split is between who's pulling from Kamala Harris and who's pulling from Donald Trump. But it's a good thing to see in this particular situation, when what we're trying to do is prevent the worst possible outcome, which is 4 more years of Trump. It's good to see that not too many people are falling for the third party candidates. And I believe that those numbers will decline between now and November. Looking at some other critical states, Michigan looking really pretty good for Kamala Harris, where she is leading by an average of 3.2, including a whopper outlier poll. The Bloomberg Morning Consult poll has Kamala Harris plus 12 in Michigan over Trump, but that's just one poll. The average is plus 3.2 for Kamala Harris. Pennsylvania is very tight. And Pennsylvania really is a state that in a lot of scenarios could be a difference maker. In Pennsylvania, Kamala Harris leading by just shy of 1 point. And there, Kennedy, Stein, and West together have 5.5. It's sort of like here we go again. Are the third party candidates potentially going to throw this to Trump? And then finally in Arizona, we really don't have a lot of recent polling in Arizona. We have a Trump plus 8, very unlikely. And we have a Harris plus 4, also probably unlikely, although someone winning by 4 in Arizona is more likely than someone winning by 8. On average, the way that Real Clear Politics weighs polling by recency and reliability, it has Arizona as Trump plus 2. So if you're Trump and you're thinking maybe I'll campaign, even though he hasn't been, if you're Trump and you're thinking maybe I'll campaign, maybe it's time to schedule some rallies in these states rather than Bozeman, Montana, as Trump did over the weekend. But I don't know if Trump is going to show up to Wisconsin, Michigan, or wherever, or if instead he's going to schedule another rally for, Mississippi 3 weeks from now or something like that. Ultimately, what I think is happening is that Trump is getting really triggered by when he goes to the same place as Kamala Harris, she gets a bigger crowd. They were in the same arena in Philadelphia in a very short span of time. And her crowd was far larger than Trump's shriveled, flaccid crowd. And that really triggers him. The way to avoid those A to B or apples to apples comparisons is go to places she won't go, like Mississippi and Bozeman, Montana. So we'll see if he gets back up on the campaign trail. Just one event, I believe, scheduled for this week, tomorrow or later in the week. But the polling really not looking good for this guy. We have such a good bonus show for you today. Ukraine says it has seized nearly 400 square miles of Russian territory. Interesting. Trump and Vance want to take more control over the Federal Reserve, something that is worrying economists. And J.D. Vance's campaign won't deny that it is indeed him in a viral drag photo. What does this mean again for the hypocrisy of these guys. All of those stories and more on today's bonus show. Sign up at joinpacman.com. I will speak to you then.